Yeah. We're talking about Christ's unlikable moments. Matthew 15 and verse 22. And behold, a woman of Cana came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, you son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. Next verse, verse 23. But he answered her not a word. First unlikable moment. He answered her not a word. Have you ever pretended not to hear somebody? You know, of course, parents are good about that with their kids, but sometimes I do it with adult people. Or I think, you know, maybe someone says something and I think that is so stupid it's not worth answering. Now, I'm not saying this is what was going on with Jesus and this woman, but I'm just saying he was a busy man. He just kept right on walking. He answered her not a word. And this was the first unlikable moment. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she cries after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Second unlikable moment. You're not a part of the in group, is what Jesus is saying. He's saying, look, I'm only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You're not part of the in group. And kept right on walking. Then came she and worshiped him and saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, It's not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs. Third unlikable moment. The deliberate choosing of words could have, Jesus' deliberately choice of words could have easily been misconstrued. In other words, you're calling me a dog. You're calling me a dog. The woman could have thought. But let's continue on. Matthew 15 and verse 27. And she said, True, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Then Jesus answered her and said to her, O woman, great is your faith, be it unto you even as you will. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. You know, it's almost as if Jesus is deliberately testing this woman just to see how she would respond to this. Now, listen, women, hang on to your hats on this one. I mean, listen to me closely. I have found that a lot of times women can be more emotional, connected and get feelings hurt and walk away. And I'm leaving the church. Someone offended me. Someone said this, someone said that. I'm upset. I think sometimes women can be more that way than men are. Men often just let that stuff run right off their backs or whatever. But listen closely to this example of what's going on here. It's almost as if Jesus is deliberately testing this woman. Now, should this surprise us that Christ would deliberately test us? Well, God tested Abraham, and it shouldn't surprise us at all that throughout the Bible, throughout a relationship with God, there are things that he does on a continuous daily basis that will test us just to see where we stand. It's almost as if Jesus is saying, how can I get this woman to be offended? And had she responded with offense, had she said, well, you're calling me a dog, and spun on her heel and walked away, her daughter would have never been healed. It all depends on how this woman responded. The reason Jesus says, oh woman, great is your faith, is how this woman responded. Now think about that. What is your attitude toward the things that daily come into your life? Had this woman responded with offense, she would have walked away thinking, this Son of God is the most unlikable person I've ever met in my life. And that would have been the end of that. And her daughter would have never been healed. Listen closely. God will challenge us with many unlikable moments about himself, about his nature, about the nature of God, just to see how we will respond. God, I don't like this, we say. I don't like the way this prayer has been answered. Or I don't like the way this prayer has not been answered. You're being tested with God's unlikable moments just to see how you respond.